For this episode of BTS with Jess, I am visiting the iconic Carclew House in North Adelaide. This place was gifted by the South Australian government in 1971 as a promise to make sure all children and young people have access to arts, culture and creativity right here in Adelaide. One of the many, many ways that Carclew helps to bring arts and creativity to young people here in the Adelaide community is through their school holiday workshops. I'll be checking out a dance and movement workshop and a songwriting workshop, but not only that, there's also some visual art workshops going on here at Carclew House too, just like the mural we'll be watching tomorrow, and that is a collaboration between Sala and the young people here at Carclew House.
Today we ran two workshops that happened side by side. Tanya Vogues ran a beautiful movement and dance workshop, and I ran a songwriting masterclass, and they went for 2.5 hours. We actually started the session together, doing a movement workshop and like a lyric sort of brainstorming exercise, and then we split up, and I took the musicians or songwriters into this room that we're in now, and we spent about 1.5 hours writing a song. Guided movement isn't something that all kids get a chance to do, so I think, and Tanya's such an experienced facilitator, and she comes from this really interesting perspective of being a professional dancer, but also being a dance or a movement therapist. So she was I think she was really reading the room and getting the kids to engage, and when they perhaps weren't engaging, when she offered something, then she'd pivot and offer something else and offer a surprise, and she got us, without us really even knowing, she got us, running around the room and doing silly moves, and she got each of us kind of expressing ourselves in different ways, and also that beautiful, we did an exercise where we were sort of finger to finger, so index finger to index finger, we had our eyes closed, and it was this exercise about sort of building trust and sort of letting the creativity happen to us or come through us, and I think that was really beautiful. And one of the kids said, it was really dreamy and relaxing, and then when we stopped doing the exercise, it's like, now it's like coming back to reality. So, they just have these beautiful insights. Yeah, it was really fun to watch.
Georgia, you're into the arts, you sing, you've been in musicals, you do a bit of dancing. Tell me more about yourself and why you love the arts.
I've always been, like you said, a very creative person. My school used to have a dance program, and so I did the dance program for a little bit. I've always been very interested in performing. I love performing, and I've been doing singing since I was from a very young age with my friend, which is also my singing teacher.
And you're here at Carclew for the school holiday programs. Tell me about what you're doing in these classes.
So this is actually my first class. We kind of saw the website and decided to book in, have a look. From today it's been very interesting. We did like a bit of sort of dancing at the start, and it was like a very flowy movement sort of thing with some cool music. And then we went into a room, did some brainstorming about ourselves and things, and we started looking at writing a song.
So Charlie, you're here today at Carclew House doing the songwriting and dancing workshop. Tell me about why you enjoy the creative arts.
Well, I enjoy the creative arts because I love to dance and sing, and the reason I've been getting into singing and dancing is because of my sister. She does singing lessons and stuff, and I'm going to start doing them. I do musical theatre classes, and I play the clarinet and the violin.
You do it all. Tell me about your journey in the arts so far. How long have you been doing creative arts, and from what age?
From about when I was 8, I started doing dancing at a different dance place, and then I transferred to a specialist class. I specialise in dancing but also acting and singing at the same time.
That is awesome. And where do you hope to go with your creative endeavours?
Well, I would hope to be a famous musician or singer or an actor.
What genre of music do you love the most?
I love pop and a bit sadder but also uplifting type of music.
And as a young person, how do you think that the creative arts has helped you to develop and express yourself?
Well, it's made me a lot more confident and a lot less scared to be social.
Now, you mentioned to me earlier that you enjoy singing more flowy songs or sort of like pop songs. What do you love about that genre of music?
I love how flowy it is. It's really fun to sing. It's definitely in my singing range. So some genres, they have a specific range. The flowy sort of genre, there's a large range. You can do riffs and stuff, and it's just, you can do a lot with it.
Would you consider that there's any artists or performers who have had a big influence on you as a creative?
I've never really been very focused on just one artist, but someone that's really stood out to me is Billie Eilish. I love her songs. I love the way she does them. She has a huge range, and they're definitely my favourites to sing.
Everyone was really beautifully engaged. We talked about the underlying structure of a song and this idea of a song being like a puzzle to put together. And then together we wrote the melody and the lyrics.
And what kind of genre is the song that you created?
Well, they wanted the song to be more upbeat and in a major key, so slightly happier, uplifting. And I guess the song is like a contemporary sort of folk pop song.
And what have you observed from being an artist and a musician yourself about the benefits of music and creative songwriting for young people?
When I was in late primary school, a songwriter came to our school and did a songwriting workshop with us. Something in me just felt really excited by having a voice or having agency around the way I express myself. Music offers this sort of third space outside of ourselves that we can sort of move into to explore ideas, express emotions, process life. Some of the kids just having those creative ideas and being brave enough to say them out loud, and for me to catch them and then for us to sort of include and weave those ideas into the song. Yeah, it's a really nice feeling. It's empowering and it's validating. Ultimately, I think music can give people a voice.
And I think as well, having so many different instruments and so many different genres of music and then being able to sing or do other jobs in the music industry, it just provides so many different pathways for young people to express themselves.
Yeah, and this sense of identity. Actually, our song was about identity, and music at that age can really be this anchor or this way of people finding themselves or expressing themselves through fashion, music, taste. Being in the creative space myself, I think it's really invaluable for young people to be exposed to art and to have the experience of doing it, which sort of proves to them that they are a creative being and that they can access the arts or sort of work in the arts or engage with creativity in some way throughout their life.
Now I'm joined by Chloe, one of the facilitating artists here at Carclew. Chloe, tell me about the program that we're running today.
Yeah, so today's program was essentially a collaborative mural, but I wanted each of the kids to kind of have their own, create their own artwork that they could feel responsible for and take home with them, and then also contribute to a larger artwork. So yeah, we kind of had a two stages to the project.
And what did those two stages include?
So the first stage was, so basically we ended up creating a mural which was we made the building of Carclew House, which the kids kept referencing as the castle. So I got the kids to trace a drawing that I had drawn previously, and they traced each kind of section of the building. Then they were asked to pick a favourite colour and then pick the complementary colour to that favourite colour. So, yellow and purple, orange and blue, red or green. Then essentially they were able to use kind of whatever materials they wanted. So paint, pencils, paper, pastels, and they could kind of do whatever they wanted, kind of free reign, but just using those kind of chosen two colours. And then we scanned all the artwork, and then we did a paste up, so wheat paste style mural. So we pasted it up to a large MDF piece and made a collaborative artwork at the end.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And throughout your time as an artist and art facilitator, what have you noticed are the benefits of creativity for young people?
I think the biggest thing that I take away from it is myself being an artist. Presenting these workshops is it lets children know that that is a feasible career for them. Often I have kids be like, oh, like this is your job, like you do this. And I'm like, yeah, this is my job. This is what I do every day. And they're like, oh my God, I can actually make a career out of this, because obviously, you know, you're told that you can't be an artist and it's like you're not going to make money from that or whatever. So I think the biggest thing that I take away is like I'm able to be kind of, I guess, a role model in that way. I can show kids that it's something that they can do for the rest of their lives if they want to. So essentially, I try to implement my own style into my workshops. So often I'm predominantly a watercolour painter, so I often do watercolour workshops like landscape based. Or I've also more recently delved into digital art, so I've done some iPad drawing workshops at a few local libraries, which is really great, especially with like iPad and like new technology. You often get such a large range of people from all age groups who are wanting to learn those skills.
So you mentioned before about a lot of young people being told that arts isn't a feasible career for them and that they won't get paid and that they should pick something else and blah, blah, blah. What usually is the most successful outcomes that you've seen of young people who have chosen to pursue a career in the arts?
Yeah, so I think I'm just thinking in my own kind of circles, but in my own circles in terms of like people that I went to uni with who studied art, majority of them have gone on to make art a career. But I also don't think that you need university to do that. You can be self-taught.
Isn't it crazy what you can do in one afternoon? It's great to see Carclew supporting young people in South Australia to really tap into their creativity. But Carclew has a lot more on offer than just their school holiday programs. So come right back after this break to see what else is going on throughout the year. It's been about 6 months since I last visited Carclew, and I've already seen how their school holiday programs are helping to empower kids and youth to get creative and level up their artistic abilities. But if you thought that was cool, then wait till you see what I'm here for today. Carclew today for Artsy Arvo, the ultimate hangout for South Australia's creative teenagers. It's an afternoon jam-packed with painting, sewing, live music and heaps more, all run by Carclew's Youth Ambassadors. It's going to be a pretty epic afternoon with something for everyone to get their teeth into. That's not all. Later on, I'll catch up with Carclew's CEO to chat about how Carclew is supporting young people and the opportunities available to help them succeed in the arts. But for now, let's get stuck into these creative activities. There's no shortage of awesome creative activities happening here today at Carclew. So why don't we chat to some of the young people and see what they're getting up to? So Felix, you're performing today at Carclew. Tell me a little bit about what kind of music you make, and you're part of a band too, right?
Yes, so my band was originally asked to perform here, but Claudia, the other half, couldn't make it. I make my own solo music. I've been making electronic music for 3-4 years now, and I was just playing some unreleased stuff today.
What kind of music making programs do you use? Like, how do you create these tracks?
I just use GarageBand on my laptop. It's the default built-in software. And recently I've been experimenting with like some different compositional techniques, like using sheet notation, using like guitars.
So, for everyone listening now thinking Felix's music is pretty cool, I want to do that too. How can they do it? How can they get started?
Well, I think if you want to make music, you're already on a good path. When I started making music, it was quite a few years ago now. I was just putting random loops together, and in hindsight, it doesn't sound that great now, but it was really fun to do it at the time, and that kind of passion built. Now I think I've made 4 albums of my own since then. You know, I've had a few tracks played on radio before, and it's been really fun. It's a huge passion of mine.
Well, congratulations. That's so cool, Felix. And what would you say to other young people that are wanting to get started in the arts in general? Like, what has the arts done for you that you think it could do for others?
I definitely say just to go for it. I think explore a couple options. I'm studying visual art as well as music at the moment because I'm passionate in both of them. So I think keep your options open and explore a variety of different mediums.
I'd say, like, if there's something that you love to do, just go ahead and do it. There will always be people that support you, and yeah, just be you.
Tell me what you love about art.
Well, it's just really fun and it's a good way to like express yourself.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing it because it allows me to like create stuff that like I can wear it.
And what do you think are the benefits of art for young people just like yourselves?
Well, to have fun and like, you know, do whatever you want.
I think like it's a good idea, like it builds like a community, like especially here, like there's a big community and it's just lots of fun to do.
I feel like that sounds really basic. It's really basic.
So Gretel, tell me about what you're doing here at Carclew today and what made you want to come and volunteer?
So today at Carclew we've just got the little sewing station going, so everyone's been coming up with all these wonderful creations. We've had skirts, little patches and badges.
That's so cool, and I've seen so many people wearing them with like little badges and stuff stuck on them and it looks amazing. So what do you think is like the top benefit of creativity and arts and stuff like this for young people?
I guess just expression. It's really cool to be able to express yourself creatively, and there's so much freedom in art making, and that's what I love about it. So yeah.
And you've come over from Melbourne and this is your first day in South Australia. What a way to spend your day volunteering at Carclew.
Yeah, it's been super fun. I just saw it on Humanitics and thought it'd be a good way to spend the day. So yeah, it's been really nice.
Absolutely. And what would you say to other young people who might be in your position where they're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a new community, I want to get involved in the arts?
Well, the arts is a super welcoming and encouraging space. There's no rules in creating, so I just encourage you to come along and yeah, enjoy the ride.
Catch up with some of Carclew's amazing youth ambassadors. These two are some of the team who are running today's show. George, start us off. Tell us about what's been involved in putting this awesome event together.
Lots and lots of team discussions and meetings. So there's, how many of us are there? There's like
24 to 26 of us. Yeah,
it's a big group. So we all kind of get together. We have like Teams chats, in-person chats, and plan out like what do we think the youth of Adelaide would benefit from within the art scene and how can they get involved.
And what have you found that Adelaide's youth want in the arts?
I think the connection and like just being able to talk to each other and mingle with other people who are interested in it.
Yeah, and in your time as youth ambassadors, what have you noticed are the key benefits of creativity and the arts for young people?
I think it's, really good for like connecting with other people. It's a really great like medium to bond over, as well as a good outlet for mental health sort of stuff. So that was one of our main focuses, was about mental health within young people, and arts is a really great place for people to relax and, find some sort of outlet for themselves.
Yeah, and it's really even noticeable. I think even today, like doing the sewing, so many people were just around the sewing, and it's crazy to think just such a simple task can be so enjoyable.
It's really important to have art as a way for young people to express themselves in their own way, because, there's a pretty big difference, or at least I think, in the way that different generations express themselves. But art is sort of like a human thing that's always existed and evolving.
I think that's a really good thing about art, especially when it comes to youth, is it creates like a space where you can talk about certain issues that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do with other mediums.
The reason why I became a youth ambassador for Carclew is I've always kind of been following the arts at a distance, and I saw this as both a chance to really get more up close and personal with working with artists and learning how to run and manage an event in relation to art, as well as a bit of a gateway into leadership roles I could take in the future.
I think when youth come together to make like art in all mediums, it just like portrays ideas through a different lens that can be like more expressive and easier to understand than just like writing or words and that kind of thing. So I think that's really important, and it helps other generations kind of understand our perspective.
Art's really important, especially for young people, because in an increasingly subjective and changing world, we need a subjective medium to complement that allows people to explore how they feel, even if they don't know how someone else will interpret it. It can be comforting, challenging.
I think it can help give like different demographics better understandings of each other.
I think it's really important for the community as a whole. The subjective aspect makes it a great exploration of emotions and ideas, but it provides a gateway for older people into the beliefs and ideas of young people.
So, Matilda, tell me about your involvement as a youth ambassador here at Carclew, and what's been your job in putting today together?
So we've all been meeting on Zoom meetings for quite a while now and having like lots of great conversations. We first came up with this idea by stemming on we wanted to do something related to mental health, connecting young people.
What a good idea. And this is a question for all of you. What do you think is so important about the arts for connecting young people to each other and to the community, starting with you, Matilda?
Well, the arts is obviously very important for things like mental health, connectivity. It can also be a great way to explore passions, meet new people, make friends.
Like Matilda said, it's big on expression. And I think for young people, it's really hard to find people similar to them a lot of the time. So the arts can really help to let people identify with their peers, and there's no boundaries in art, which I think is really beautiful.
Well, it's a great way to be able to try new things, and for people like with the bands, so they can get their art shown, and a great way to just connect with people. It's a great way to express yourself.
Each different area of art has so many different benefits, for the brain, for health, for activity. I think there's just so many amazing benefits that just can't be overlooked. School's a really great place to start. There's lots of different clubs, drama, music, painting. There's so many different areas of art.
Yeah, the awesome thing about art is that you don't need a degree in art to do it. You can just do art.
You can definitely start at home on a smaller scale. Talk to people, find out if people are interested in the same thing that you are.
So I've just seen just how much fun everyone's having here today at Carclew. From painting to sewing to jamming with local youth bands. What better way to bring the community together through art? But the question is, how does Carclew manage to create such an inspiring environment for young people? And what's the bigger picture behind all these amazing programs? To get the inside scoop, I'm about to sit down with Carclew's CEO to talk about how they're making a lasting impact in South Australia's arts community. And she might even have some handy tips for young aspiring artists. Mimi, can you tell me a little bit about the history of Carclew and why it's so important for South Australia's arts community?
Carclew is South Australia's home of youth arts. It's 52 years old, and it's important because we fund young artists, we support programs for kids, and we support youth arts organisations across the state.
Now, Carclew engages with youth among various creative disciplines. Can you tell me about how you've noticed it helps them to integrate with the community and helps with their personal development?
Yeah, so art is a really fundamental part of childhood. They say it takes 400 repetitions to learn something new unless you do it through creative play, and then it takes 10 to 20. So it's helpful in kids in their capacity to learn, so it's good for their brains, but it's also just good for building confidence and resilience. We see kids who were school refusers becoming really active students within their school. It has a range of benefits, and there's no shortage of research around it.
And so it sounds like you've got a lot of exciting programs on offer throughout the year. What type of things happen at Carclew?
Well, our school holiday program is the best first port of call, right? So we offer it every school holiday. It ranges from primary all the way through to early careers. So it goes through secondary, but even this time we have some songwriting workshops which are 18 to 30-year-olds. That's the best place to find your connection to our programs. We also have grant programs that run throughout the year. We do a fringe program because we have a First Nations Early Career Creatives program, and they're running a Black Seeds, which is a First Nations fringe event here at the house. And we fund other youth arts organizations. So you're actually a part of Carclew when you participate at Sir Kids, or at Riverland Youth Theatre, or at DeFaces, or down south at Sage Sparks, or at Pom Pom in Davern Park. You know, there are Carclew programs just about everywhere in this state.
Now, it's very well known that the arts have a huge impact on mental health and well-being. How have you seen Carclew's programs support this in young people?
Well, we see it all the time, as do every youth arts organisation, but I can give you a couple of examples. I heard a first-hand account of a young woman who was working with Northern Sound System and was a school refuser. She spoke firsthand about how it shifted from refusing to attending school and building her confidence. We know another young person who was working with Pom Pom and again was dealing with intense anxiety, who built a network, who started going back to school, who won a Children's Week award for her work. Like there are countless stories of young people whose lives are transformed from the safety that they find in creative spaces. I would love for everyone to know that there is no minimum age to our grants. I said we funded a 12-year-old filmmaker. Yeah. I'm happy to fund someone younger than that. Yeah. So come to us and tell us your dreams, and we're here to help you figure out how to apply. It's not a cold grant system. We try to really help people succeed. So come and chat to us, come and see us at the house, come join us at our school holiday programs. Our guiding principles is a home, not a house.
Visiting Carclew today has been a great reminder of how art brings the community together and why supporting youth arts is so important. Whether it's painting, music, making a costume, or just having a good time, it's these types of activities that bring young people together and empower them to really express themselves. Well, that's it from me for this week, but tune in next week and join me for another episode of BTS with Jess. And in the meantime, follow me on social media and subscribe on YouTube to keep up to date with all things creative happening here in South Australia. And I'll see you next week.